Hello there, I am the Space Ninja, and today I'm going to attempt a lightsaber review, which I hope you'll find informative. I'd like to thank Sagar Ra for requesting this video. I recommend checking out some of his great saber content over on his channel, and without any further ado, let's get right into it. The lightsaber. It truly is an elegant weapon. If you're interested in getting one, you've made an excellent choice. But there's a few things you should know before you make your purchase. Alright, so the first thing you should ask yourself is, what do I want out of my saber? Because you can spend any amount of money on these things, you can get one on any budget, and what you want out of it should be a big factor in your decision making on what type of saber you want to buy. Maybe you just want a shelf piece that you're just going to display, and you might pick it up every once in a while and go, ooh, cool, and show it off to your friends and then carefully set it back down on its display because it's way too expensive to risk breaking it. Or maybe, like me, you want something that you can carry with you and wear on your side every day. The point is, there are a lot of options to choose from, way too many for me to get into in this video, so I'm going to focus on what I've bought personally, what I have experience with, what I like about it and what I don't like about it, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas what you want to do. So the first saber I ever bought was this beast from Master Replicas, probably more than, 15 years ago. Jeez. Comparing it to Saberforge, you can see that the hilts are about the same length, but obviously Master Replicas is a lot beefier. My hand barely wraps all the way around it. Anyway, this thing lasted me a long time, like 8 to 10 years, I think, and I beat the crap out of this thing. It started out losing a few LED lights in the blade here and there, and then eventually it just quit working altogether. I recommend this for a display piece. It's good for sitting on a shelf. It looks really great. Mine lasted me a long time, and like I said, I beat the crap out of this thing. However, that probably won't be your experience. I bought at least 4 more Master Replicas lightsabers after this one, and none of them lasted me as long as this one did. That Master Replicas doesn't even make sabers anymore. I think the license has been sold to Hasbro now. Yeah, the Black Series sabers. Those are the ones now. Master Replicas are actually quite a highly sought after collector's item now, so they're worth even more now than they used to be. My other Master Replicas lasted me months, not years. But to be fair, they are in no way intended to be played with the way I was. I probably got really lucky with my first one. Eventually I started hearing about all these high-end sabersmiths that started popping up all over the internet, and they were advertising combat lightsabers, like battle-ready, heavy dueling type sabers, and I was like, alright, this is me. So I found Saberforge, and I ordered my first saber from them. I did wait for a while for it to arrive, a couple of months, and I got one with all the bells and whistles, the electronics and everything, all the sound effects, and within a month of having it, I was showing it off to some friends, and I dropped it on concrete and broke it right there. And I had to order some replacement parts, and I ended up getting just a light, no more sound effects in this one, but that's okay. Honestly, I've had a lot of people recommend to me that if you want a dueling lightsaber, don't bother getting one with sound effects. So I got really lucky with Master Replicas. I dropped my first one dozens, maybe hundreds of times on concrete, and never had a problem with it for almost 10 years. And then my Saberforge saber I drop once, and it breaks right away. I just got really unlucky with that one, I guess. About a year later, I decided to buy 2 more sabers. And I really wanted a staff saber, and my thinking at the time was, if I buy another one from Saberforge, then I'll be able to have a staff. I'll just buy a coupler, and I'll be able to put them together. And I could have just got a second stunt saber, what they call a saber with no sound. But I was like, no, I needed to have the sound in my second one. I figured that one would be a showpiece, I'd keep it put up. And then if I did want to put it together into a staff, at least I would have the option with sound. At least half of it would have sound anyway. Alright, so here's what I ended up with from Saberforge. This is my first one. I'll get into the second one here in just a moment. First of all, I got the Arctic Blue Light. I've got the weathering, the blackened weathering to give it that aged look. You got the viewing window, the windows in the emitter here, where you can see the light shining through when the blade's in it. It looks really cool like that. Actually, I can demonstrate that right now. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The CoverTech wheel. Let's talk about the belt clip for a second. You have the option to get this plastic belt clip, right? And it slides like in a slot, and it covers. It's hard to describe. I don't have mine anymore. I don't recommend getting it. It's junk. Let's just move on from that. The thing is absolute junk. Mine fell apart with everyday use in less than a month. So, but I kept the wheel on my Saber there. I don't know if you can see how mangled mine is from all the times I've dropped it and just beat it to crap, you know. But yeah, and then of course I got the staff coupler, and basically you just take the pommel off and you put the coupler on there like so, and then you grab your other Saber and it screws on just like this. Now when you make a staff Saber, you might worry how that's going to feel. Like, these things are heavy, and let me tell you, this is secure. I don't worry about breaking it or bending it or anything when I'm going hard and battling. You know, I don't ever worry about it at all. It's very secure. It's very sturdy. All right, so clip broke, and I didn't like that at all. So I had to do something else, and I wanted to wear this thing on my side. So what I came up with, since I have a vented pommel, I just put a key ring on here. I basically I set myself up a couple of these clips. These are just keychain clips. You can get a pack of like 6 of them at the dollar store for $1, you know. So that goes like that. And then my Saber hangs here like this. Very secure. I mean, that thing is not going anywhere. This clip is wrapped around my belt, not just the belt loop, so that's not going to pop off. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about my second Saberforge purchase. This one's very similar. They're virtually identical. The one is slightly shorter, just by like half an inch or so. The thing I really like about Saberforge is the in-hilt recharge. Now, I lost my kill key a long time ago. This is a custom kill key that I made to replace the one I lost.
Saberforge, Meridian.
But I do love being able to just plug it right in. You don't have to worry about taking it apart and getting the batteries out of it and charging it that way. You just plug it in and it's good to go. So, all in all, I'm pretty happy with my Saberforge purchases. I mean, these hilts are beautiful, and they feel so good to hold. It feels like a real lightsaber. I don't know how to describe it. One thing that I'm not real thrilled about is the durability, to be frank about it. Like, look here. This is the power button. The plastic case of it is broken, and now it lifts right out of there, and I have to keep pushing it back down in there like so. It's very unfortunate. It's basically on the inside, it's just hanging on by a wire. I love the sound effects on this Saber. This thing has 3 sound banks, and all 3 sound effects are really neat. I like them a lot. I'm not going to demonstrate that here. I've shown that off in another video in the past. Yeah, the sound effects are great. One thing I don't like is having a kill key. Now, me personally, when I have my Saber ready, I want my Saber to be ready. I want to draw it and be able to just turn it on. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. You know, you got to mess with this kill key. You got to take it out. You got to make sure you don't. You got to make sure you don't lose it. I don't like that. So, I had told you that I bought 2 more Sabers after my first one. I had bought a second Saberforge Saber, and I was waiting for it to arrive, and about a month went by, and I had the itch really bad. I needed a new Saber, so I went ahead and ordered a 3rd Saber from Ultra Sabres. And this is it right here. Ultra Sabres designs are a lot more basic than Saberforge. They basically look more like a mag light, like a flashlight. One thing that I like about this one a lot, and you'll notice I drilled the pommel. This pommel isn't vented, so I drilled it out and put a key ring on this one. I actually did the same thing with my second Saberforge Saber. It doesn't have a vented pommel either, so I had to drill it out too. Just a little customization makes everything a little more personal, you know? One thing that I really like about Ultra Sabres is there's no kill key. When you're ready to go, you're ready to go. You just turn it on. This one has their premium sound card too, so it has like 6 sound banks, and they're all really neat. And the awesome thing about that is that with this one you actually have the ability to plug it into your computer, and you can customize those sound banks. You can replace them all together with different ones if you want to. This one has a feature that my Saberforge does not have. It has the flash on clash, so when you hit it, it flashes red. You could have made that color any color you wanted, but I chose red. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't pick red on blue again. White probably would have been better. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got the... yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we're already at 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to wrap this up real quick without rambling too much. One thing that I would like to say is that after I bought my first Saber, I knew that I didn't like the CoverTech wheel, so I had ordered a D-ring for my second Saber, and this is the D-ring that it came with. Now, I'm not saying that this D-ring wouldn't work, it's just tiny. It's a little too tiny to easily put into my clip, you know what I mean? So I took it off and I just went with my keyring method. Now, this thing, it's not just tiny, but I mean, it's made out of very thin metal. I mean, it seems pretty solid. I've tried to break it just with my fingers, and it's pretty solid, but I didn't trust it, is the bottom line, so I decided not to use it. There are so many options, just so many options. You want to make the most informed decision you can before you make a purchase. I mean, there's always going to be some trade-off too. Like, for example, my Ultra Saber is louder than my Saberforge, but it's also not quite as bright. So that's a trade-off, you know? One thing that really blows me away is the quality of the blades. The blades are, well, I use heavy-duty blades. They make them in mid-grade or dual blades. Mid-grade blades are a lot lighter, and you can't hit them as hard. With a dual blade like this one, you can literally hit this as hard as you can. This will not break. You'll break your electronics in your lightsaber before you break this blade. I can pretty much guarantee it. Not too long after I bought my Saberforge Saber, they introduced day blades. Now, with your regular blades, these are just white, and they rely on the brightness of the light coming out of the hilt to illuminate the entire length of the blade. Now, when you're out in broad daylight and direct sunlight, you really can't see the color in these regular blades. But they have an answer to that, and they call them day blades. They're a little bit more expensive than regular blades, and I was a little wishy-washy about spending the extra money on one when I wasn't sure how it was going to look. But I'm going to tell you right now, these things are amazing. Daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. They look beautiful regardless of the lighting conditions. And they're just as durable. Just as durable. They're made out of the same exact material. And, you know, basically, you know, it's already the right color, you know, so it's not relying as much on... You get what I'm saying. Look, I could spend all day talking about this, but nobody wants that, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Hopefully this video was at least somewhat interesting. I've never tried making a video like this before, so hopefully I did alright. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. Leave any questions in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.